Here is your latest African news. Africa-wide. Ukraine president wants to address AU on Russia. President Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine has again reached out to the African Union (AU) for support in his nation's war with Russia, calling his Senegalese counterpart Macky Sall to discuss the crisis. Zelensky said he provided an update to Sall, the current president of the AU, on the Ukrainian struggle against Russia and the terrible crimes of the aggressor. Sall acknowledged the call in his own social media message, noting that Zelensky, who has made numerous appeals to global leaders and legislatures, also wants the opportunity to address the AU. Their conversation touched on an AU statement issued on February 24th, calling for an immediate ceasefire and a return to negotiations in order to preserve the world from the consequences of planetary conflict. The result comes amid a divided African response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. For example, 58 countries abstained from an April 7th vote in the United Nations General Assembly that suspended Russia from the UN Human Rights Council. Africa accounted for 24 of the abstaining countries, which included Senegal. 9 other African countries voted in favor of the resolution and 9 voted against. Nigeria. EU looks to Nigeria for more gas supply. The European Union (EU) is mounting pressure on Nigeria to ramp up its gas supply to Europe with a visit to Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company (NNPC) Limited, Mr. Mele Kyari. The visit comes days after EU ambassadors paid a similar visit to the Minister of State Petroleum Resources, Mr. Temipre Silva, apparently in a bid to mount pressure on the country to raise its gas production. Since the Russia-Ukraine war started, Europe has sought to free itself of Russian hydrocarbons, which produces up to 40% of its total gas consumption. At the event, the federal government had urged Europe to step up investments in gas and other hydrocarbons in Nigeria to be able to help meet the EU energy demand. Ethiopia. Ethiopia lifts ban on Boeing 737 MAX after 2019 crash. Ethiopia has allowed Boeing 737 MAX airplanes back on its airspace, the aviation regulator has said, 3 years after one of its national carrier jets crashed shortly after takeoff from Addis Ababa. All 149 passengers and 8 crew members aboard the Ethiopian Airlines flight from the Ethiopian capital to Nairobi in Kenya died. The Ethiopian Civil Aviation Authority (ECAA) said it lifted the ban after being satisfied with improvements in the plane's design and the airline's pilot training program. The U.S. Federal Aviation Administration (FAA) cleared the planes to resume flights in November 2020 but ordered mandatory pilot training and modification of flight computer. Somalia. African Union stands by envoy in Somalia, Francisco Madeira. The African Union has stood by Mozambican diplomat Francisco Madeira, the head of the Continental Body's mission to Somalia, after he was initially expelled from the country. The expulsion, which has since been cancelled by President Mohamed Farmajo, was controversially issued on the 7th of April by Prime Minister Hussein Roble, who accused the diplomat of engaging in acts contrary to his position as the special representative of the AU chairperson in Somalia. Madeira was declared persona non grata and given 48 hours to leave the country. But AU chairperson Musa Faki Mohammed reaffirmed his trust and confidence in his special representative. Algeria. Italy signs deal with Algeria to increase gas imports. Italian Prime Minister Mario Draghi has secured a deal for more natural gas imports from across a Mediterranean pipeline from Algeria. It's the latest push by a European Union nation to reduce dependence on Russian energy following the ongoing conflict. Russia is Italy's biggest supplier of natural gas, representing 40% of total imports, followed by Algeria, which provides some 21 billion cubic meters of gas via the Trans-Mediterranean pipeline. After meeting with President Abdelmajid Tebboune, Draghi said that an agreement to intensify bilateral cooperation in the energy sector, along with a deal to export more gas to Italy, is significant for the strategic goal of quickly replacing Russian energy. Zambia. Kabwe lead poisoning, fresh evidence filed against Anglo American winning company on behalf of over 100,000 victims. High levels of lead have been found in the blood of thousands of children living around the Kabwe mine in Zambia, according to evidence submitted by human rights lawyers in South Gauteng High Court. The reports by medical and environmental experts will strengthen the case against British mining giant Anglo American, South Africa Limited, for allegedly causing widespread lead poisoning around the site. The local population has been suffering lead poisoning for generations, and it may have caused cognitive impairment in many, the document illustrated. Around 50% of children had levels greater than 45 mcg per dl, and many had above 100 mcg per dl. The case was filed in a South African court because the mining company is domiciled there. Class actions are lawsuits that are filed by a group of people affected by the same problem, but Zambia doesn't have class actions, and justice has been denied to the victims for over 50 years. The victims want compensation in order to access an effective medical monitoring system of the blood lead levels, cleanup, and remediation. Anglo American has opposed the class action, passing the blame to Zambia Consolidated Copper Mines, a state-owned company that took over the operation of the mine in 1974. The claim was proven unjustifiable, as it was later found out that the project was run by Anglo American during a much longer and more active period. We have great news. Tunacheki, Kunda Kids and Nala have partnered together to bring you Maua and the Garden of Plenty, our first African children's book, for free. Nala is a money transfer app that uses the latest technology and works with local communities to make payments as hassle-free as possible. The easy-to-use app allows anyone to quickly send money from the UK to Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Ghana, with many other African countries and currencies coming soon at the lowest rates available. To get a free copy of Maua and the Garden of Plenty for yourself, family, or friends, download the Nala app, use the code KUNDAKIDS, and make a transfer of as little as £1. For those in the USA, you can download the app and RSVP for your free book coming next month. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, follow, share, and like our video. It's the best way of supporting us. Remember, Africa is watching.